चलिए हम लोग प्रार्थना कर लेते हैं। सर्वशक्तिमान पिता परमेश्वर प्रभु, आपका धन्यवाद हो कि प्रभु आज सुबह आपने हम सबको तरोताजा करके उठाया है, ताकि प्रभु जी हम बिना थकान के अपनी इस तीर्थ यात्रा को आरंभ कर सकें। इस तरह ताकि हम उन सब बातों को समझ सकें और सिर्फ इंजॉयमेंट के लिए नहीं, मौज मस्ती के लिए नहीं, लेकिन प्रभु एक तीर्थ यात्री के रूप में हम उन सब जगहों पे जाने पाए। आप अपनी महिमा, अपनी कृपा और दया को प्रकट करें। मैं प्रभु सारे सदस्यों को आपके हाथों में सौंप देता हूँ। आपसे प्रार्थना करता हूँ आप सबको संभालें, अच्छी हेल्थ दें और प्रभु जी इन दिनों का भरपूर आनंद उठाने का अनुग्रह भी आप सबको प्रदान करें। यीशु मसीह के सामर्थी नाम से आमीन। गाड़ी में नहीं कौन कौन नहीं आया आपके ग्रुप में? बाक्सला फैमिली आ गया? मेरी वाइफ तो वो नहीं, ये कह रहा है कि वो उसमें गई, छोड़ जाते हैं अभी। बोल दिया आपको नहीं, बोल दिया नहीं, हमारे रूम में ठंडा पानी आ रहा था, गर्म नहीं आ रहा था, तो ये तो ठंडे से नहीं, मेरी हिम्मत नहीं हुई उसको उसमें हाथ डालने के बाद, तो उसको बुलाया, फिर उसने कहा भी आधा घंटा लगेगा इसको गर्म होने में। तो गर्म होने में मैं वाईफाई बंद करवा दूंगा, वाईफाई बंद करा दूंगा प्लीज। जब मैं बात करूं, मैंने इंस्ट्रक्शंस में भेजा था वाईफाई आपको मिलेगा, लेकिन जब मैं कुछ बोलूं तो पहले उसको ध्यान से सुने। तुम्हें क्या बोल रहा था? ठंडे पानी और गर्म पानी की बात कर रहा था, तो उस वजह से लेट हो गए, तो हमारी ही वजह से लेट है। और इस समय पेट्रा जा रहे हैं। पेट्रा जाने से पहले रास्ते में एक जगह वॉशरूम यूज करने के लिए रुकेंगे, फिर उसके बाद हम लोग मोसेस वेल पर रुकेंगे। मोसेस वेल यानी कि वो जगह जहां पर पहली बार परमेश्वर ने मूसा को कहा था कि जाकर के चट्टान पर लाठी मारना तो वो पानी देगी, और उससे सब इजरायलियों ने पिया था। तो वो चट्टान जो है वो सऊदी अरेबिया के अंदर पाई जाती है, यहाँ पर नहीं पाई जाती है, पहली बार। दूसरी बार जब वो मोआब देश में आ गए थे, और मोआब देश में जब वो थे और हारून की भी मृत्यु होने वाली थी अनाज्ञाकारिता के कारण, तो उससे पहले एक बार फिर से इजरायली जो थे वो प्यासे हो गए थे। और जब इजरायली प्यासे हो गए थे तो फिर परमेश्वर ने एक बार फिर से कहा था कि जाकर के तुम दोनों जाना, और जाकर के उस चट्टान से, एक चट्टान बताई थी मोआब देश में, उस चट्टान से जाकर के बातचीत करना, तो वो चट्टान जो है वो तुमको पानी देगी और सारे इजरायली उस चट्टान में से पिएंगे। तो मूसा झुंझलाता हुआ गया और जाकर के मूसा ने उस चट्टान के ऊपर लाठी मार दी, लेकिन परमेश्वर ने कहा था जाकर के बातचीत करना। जब पानी नहीं निकला तो मूसा ने दूसरी बार उसके ऊपर लाठी मार दी और पानी निकल गया, क्योंकि मूसा की इंसल्ट ना हो जाए इजरायलियों के सामने, वो वैसे ही कुड़कुड़ कर रहे थे। तो पानी तो निकला, लेकिन परमेश्वर भयानक रूप से क्रोधित हो गया। क्यों क्रोधित हो गया? क्योंकि एक प्रोफेटिक पैटर्न था। पौलुस इस बात को कहता है कि जिस चट्टान में से इजरायली पानी पिया करते थे, वो चट्टान और कोई नहीं, वो चट्टान खुद मसीह था। और ये एक भविष्यवाणी थी कि जब मूसा ने एक बार लाठी को मारा चट्टान पर, तो उसमें से पानी निकला, भगेंगे, लेकिन मसीह दूसरी बार बलिदान नहीं होगा। इसलिए परमेश्वर ने कहा था जाकर के चट्टान से बातचीत करना। और मूसा और हारून ने ये प्रोफेटिक पैटर्न बिगाड़ दिया था। उन्होंने जाकर के वापस चट्टान के ऊपर लाठी मार दी थी, जबकि मसीह दूसरी बार नहीं मरेगा। कोई भी पापी मसीह के पास जाएगा, उससे बातचीत करेगा, पापों का अंगीकार करेगा, और वो चट्टान जो है, मसीह रूपी चट्टान, उसको जीवन का जल प्रदान करेगी। ये प्रोफेटिक पैटर्न था। लेकिन मूसा और हारून ने ये प्रोफेटिक पैटर्न बिगाड़ दिया था, और इसीलिए परमेश्वर इतना नाराज हो गया था कि मूसा को कहा था कि तू कनान देश में प्रवेश नहीं कर पाएगा। तो आज हम उस दूसरी चट्टान को देखेंगे रुक करके बीच रास्ते में, जहां पर 2 बार मूसा ने लाठी मार दी, और उस चट्टान में से आज भी पानी निकल रहा है। क्रिश्चियंस भी वहां पर जाते हैं, यहूदी भी वहां पर जाते हैं, मुस्लिम्स भी वहां पर जा करके उस चट्टान को देखते हैं। और मोआब देश के अंदर वो चट्टान है, वहीं पर ही हारून का मकबरा आपको एक पहाड़ के ऊपर दिखाई देगा। हम उस पहाड़ पर नहीं जा सकते हैं, पूरा दिन खच्चर पर बैठ करके जब चढ़ेंगे तब जा करके उस पहाड़ पर हम जा पाएंगे, तो हम उसको अपने टूर में नहीं रखते। तो इस तरह से आप आज एक तो वो चट्टान देखेंगे, वहां पे वीडियोग्राफी आप कर सकते हैं, ज्यादा टाइम वेस्ट ना करें, क्योंकि आप अपनी पर्सनल फोटो जरूर से ले सकते हैं। वीडियो बनाना और उसकी चट्टान की फोटो खींचना, वो सब मेरे पास पहले से है। मैं ग्रुप में वो सब वीडियोस डाल दूंगा, बल्कि ज्यादा अच्छी तरह से मैंने वीडियो बनाया हुआ है। आप हिलते डुलते वीडियो बनाएंगे, उसमें इतने लोग खड़े हो जाएंगे कि चट्टान तो कम, लोग ज्यादा दिखेंगे। तो वीडियो जो है वो मैं ग्रुप में डाल दूंगा, और फोटोज भी मैं ग्रुप में डाल दूंगा। ग्रुप फोटो भी वहां पे करेंगे। आप अपनी पर्सनल फोटो भी खींच सकते हैं, मैं मना नहीं करूंगा, लेकिन वीडियोग्राफी करने में ज्यादा समय ना गंवाएं। हमको आगे पेट्रा जाना है, और पेट्रा वो जगह है जिसके लिए यीशु मसीह ने कहा था कि जब तुम उस उजाड़ने वाली घृणित वस्तु को यरूशलेम के अंदर खड़ी हुई देखो तो तुम पहाड़ों पर भाग जाओ। तो कौन से पहाड़ों पर भागने की बात यीशु मसीह ने करी थी? उन पहाड़ों को, उन गुफाओं को आज हम देखने जा रहे हैं, जहाँ पे अंत के दिनों में यहूदी भाग करके शरण लेंगे। वहां पर क्या छुपा हुआ है गुफाओं में, मैं वहीं पर ही बताऊंगा। और साथ ही साथ प्रथम शताब्दी के जो मसीही लोग थे, जब रोमन सेना ने हमला किया था यरूशलेम में, तो उन्होंने कैसे इस भविष्यवाणी के आधार पर अपनी जान बचाई थी, वो भी मैं आपको वहां पे बताऊंगा। तो हम एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोफेटिक जगह देखने जा रहे हैं। दूसरे लोग जाते हैं लेकिन उनको उस जगह की इंपॉर्टेंस पता नहीं होती है। वो जाते हैं, घूम करके आ जाते हैं कि एक अच्छी टूरिस्ट स्पॉट है, लेकिन वो टूरिस्ट स्पॉट होने के साथ साथ एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोफेटिक साइट है, जहां पर अंत के दिनों की भविष्यवाणी पूरी होगी। यीशु मसीह ने कहा था तुम भागना, बस तुम भागना, यहूदिया को छोड़ करके पहाड़ों पर भाग जाना, कपड़ा लेने भी घर में मत लौटना। यीशु ने कहा था भागना। कहां पर भागना? आज हम वहीं पर ही जा रहे हैं। तो बहुत अच्छी जगह पर हम जा रहे हैं। बहुत कम ग्रुप्स होते हैं जो पेट्रा को इंक्लूड करते हैं अपनी आइटिनरी में, क्योंकि वहां की फीस जो होती है एंट्रेंस पर पर्सन बहुत ही ज्यादा होती है, बहुत ही ज्यादा होती है एंट्रेंस फीस, तो इसलिए कोई उसको इंक्लूड करता नहीं है। लेकिन क्योंकि वो जगह एंड टाइम्स के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, इसलिए मैंने उसको इंक्लूड किया है, वरना मैं कोई और साइट यहाँ पे जॉर्डन में इंक्लूड कर देता, जहाँ पे जाने के पैसे भी नहीं लगते, पैसे क्या, डॉलर भी नहीं लगते। तो आप सब इंजॉय करें। एक और महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है जो कि आपका दिल तोड़ के रख देगी, ऐसा पत्थर फेंक रहा हूं कि सब छन छन आवाज आएगी। पेट्रा का रास्ता जो है वो जाने के अंदर 3 किलोमीटर आपको चलना पड़ेगा, आने में 3 किलोमीटर आपको चलना पड़ेगा, तो टोटल 6 किलोमीटर चलना पड़ेगा। अब इसमें यूं है कि जाते समय तो आपको बहुत मजा आएगा पेट्रा के रास्ते पर, क्योंकि वो ढलान है। तो जाते समय तो ऐसा लगेगा अरे बेफालतू में पैसे खर्च होते, अगर मैं कोई इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल करके चला जाता या चली जाती। ये गाइड लोग तो क्या है कि पागल बनाते हैं, खुद पैसे कमाना मांगते। लेकिन जब आएंगे वहां से, एक तो पहले ही थक चुके होंगे, जाते समय 3 किलोमीटर भी वहां पे घूमेंगे, बहुत बड़ा है, और आप हैरान हो जाएंगे उस जगह को देखने के बाद। इंडियाना जोन्स जो हॉलीवुड की ब्लॉकबस्टर मूवी रही है, इंडियाना जोन्स की शूटिंग वहीं पर ही हुई थी। हमारी कई सारी इंडियन मूवीज जो बॉलीवुड की होती हैं, उसमें से जैसे कि क्रिश की शूटिंग जो है वो भी वहीं पर हुई थी, काफी सारे जगहों पर। और एक और मूवी है याद ही नहीं आ रहा है। हिमेश रेशमिया की एक मूवी थी, अब नाम नहीं पता मुझे, लेकिन उसकी भी शूटिंग वहीं पर ही हुई थी। तो इंडियंस की आंखों के अंदर भी पेट्रा आ चुका है और वहां पर वो शूटिंग करते हैं। तो जहां से मूसा ने कनान देश देखा था, उस जगह पर शूटिंग करी थी हिमेश रेशमिया ने खड़े होकर के उसी स्पॉट पर। तो आप कल जाएंगे उस स्पॉट पर जब बॉर्डर क्रॉस करेंगे उससे पहले। लेकिन बहुत अच्छी जगह है, जाते समय आप वहां पे आराम से पहुंच जाएंगे, लेकिन आते समय 3 किलोमीटर चढ़ाई है, तो आप थक सकते हैं। तो जो लोग, मैं आपको सजेशन दे रहा हूं, मैं आपको ये नहीं बोल रहा हूं कि ऐसा ही करना है। तो वहां पर ईवी चलते हैं, ईवी यानी इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल चलते हैं। अब वो इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा चार्ज करते हैं। चार्ज मतलब बिजली से चार्ज नहीं, डॉलर बहुत ज़्यादा चार्ज करते हैं। तो वो एक जने का जाने का $20 और आने का $20 लेते हैं। तो अब आप ये कहेंगे कि ठीक है, मैं जाते समय तो ढलान है, मैं पैदल चला जाऊंगा, आते समय वहां से ईवी कर लूं। तो वो भी बड़े चालाक हैं। वो कहते हैं कि करना है तो आने जाने का ही करना पड़ेगा, वरना वहां से वो लोग नहीं बिठाते। ये उनकी चालाकी है। तो आप में से जो चलने में जिनको प्रॉब्लम आती है या जो थक जाते हैं, मतलब जो बीमार हैं, तो आपसे मैं यही सजेस्ट आपको करूंगा कि आप ये जो ट्रैवलिंग है, मतलब जो वहां पे जाने का जो ईवी है, इसका चार्ज आपके पैकेज में नहीं है। तो अगर आप कहेंगे मुझको जाना है पैदल, तो गाइड आपके साथ जाएंगे। मैं भी चलता, लेकिन मेरा बीपी हाई हो रखा है, इसकी वजह से मैं चल नहीं पाऊंगा। लास्ट ग्रुप के साथ तो मैं चला था, तो मैं आपको वहीं पर ही मिल जाऊंगा पेट्रा के सामने। तो जो ईवी से जाना चाहेगा वो गाइड को बता देंगे, तो गाइड जो है वो ईवी अरेंज कर देगा। तो आप लोग क्या है, जल्दी से पहुंच जाएंगे। जो जवान है वो तो आ सकते हैं और वापस भी लौट सकते हैं, और उनको चलना भी चाहिए। तो जो जवान है उनको तो चलना भी चाहिए। तो हम जैसे जो बुजुर्ग हैं वो पहले वहां पर पहुंच जाएंगे और आप लोगों का इंतजार करेंगे, ताकि आप लोग वहां पे आए। फिर मैं सबको एक साथ ही समझाऊंगा, ऐसा नहीं है कि उनको समझा दिया फिर आपको नहीं समझाया। तो सबको एक साथ ही समझाऊंगा। वहां पे सारी बातें हम घूमेंगे, ग्रुप फोटो खिंचाएंगे, और ग्रुप फोटो में सब आएंगे। जैसे कल भाई, क्या नाम है उनका, स्वरूप मेहता, कहाँ गए वो भाई? स्वरूप मेहता जो है वो ग्रुप फोटो से बाहर थे, तो मैंने उनको ग्रुप फोटो में लिया भी नहीं, क्योंकि वो बाहर ही थे। तो अब ग्रुप फोटो से बाहर होने का आपको नुकसान ये होगा कि जब आप दिल्ली में लैंड करेंगे तो हम आपको एक एल्बम देंगे जो आपके दिल्ली लैंड होने से पहले ही प्रिंट हो चुका होगा। तो जितनी भी ग्रुप फोटो होंगी, आप सबकी पर्सनल फोटो, जो फैमिली के साथ आए हैं फैमिली की फोटो होंगी उसके अंदर, तो उन ग्रुप फोटो से फिर आप बाहर हो जाएंगे, जो प्रिंट होकर के एल्बम आपको मिलेगा दिल्ली में। तो इसलिए ध्यान रखें, जब ग्रुप फोटो के लिए बोला जाए तो आपको पहले ग्रुप फोटो खिंचानी है, उसके बाद फिर आप अपनी पर्सनल फोटोएं खींच सकते हैं। तो ये कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट बातें थी। अगर आपको ईवी करना होगा तो आप ईवी वहाँ पे गाइड जो है वो करवा देगा, और आप लोग पहले पहुँच जाएंगे। जो लोग पैदल आएंगे वो, उनको आने में मेरे ख्याल से आधा घंटा 45 मिनट लगेगा। जाने के अंदर उनको 1.5 से 2 घंटा लगेगा, मतलब वापस आने में पेट्रा 1.5 से 2 घंटा लगेगा। तो हम देखते हैं, अगर हम जल्दी पहुंच गए तो पहले पेट्रा जाएंगे, थोड़ा लेट हो गए तो पहले लंच करेंगे। दोनों ऑप्शन हमारे पास हैं, क्योंकि फिर वापस लौटते हुए हमको लेट हो जाएगा, तो आपको भूख भी लगेगी पैदल चलने में। तो वो वहीं पर ही पहुंचने से पहले डिसाइड कर लेंगे कि क्या करना है। तो आज हम पेट्रा जा रहे हैं, मोसेस वेल जा रहे हैं। कल सुबह हम सबसे पहले अपना सामान लेकर के आएंगे, बस में रखेंगे या लॉबी में रखेंगे, उसके बाद ब्रेकफास्ट करेंगे। कल हम माउंट नीबो जाएंगे, जहाँ से मूसा ने सारा कनान देश देखा था, और उसके बाद वहीं से ही हम इजरायली बॉर्डर जो है उसकी तरफ रवाना होंगे और इजराइल का बॉर्डर क्रॉस करेंगे। कल के इंस्ट्रक्शन कल ही दूंगा, और अभी आप एंजॉय करिए। इस समय हम अमान छोड़ करके मोआब के भूमि की तरफ जा रहे हैं। वहां पर आपको मोआब देश की पहाड़ियां जो हैं वो देखने को मिलेंगी, और खास तौर से हम मोआब देश भी नहीं, हम बेसिकली एदोम देश की तरफ जा रहे हैं। एदोम, जहां पे एदोमी जाति के लोग रहा करते थे, और एदोमी जाति के ही क्षेत्र के अंदर एक सभ्यता पनपी थी। मेरी बात बहुत ध्यान से सुने, गाइड बताएगा तो फिर आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा, क्योंकि वो बहुत ज्यादा डिटेल में आपको हिस्ट्री सुनाएगा, तो आप परेशान हो जाएंगे वो हिस्ट्री सुन के। तो मैं आपको कट शॉर्ट करके हिंदी में वैसे ही बता रहा हूं, ताकि जब वो बोले तो आपको दूसरी बातें भी समझ में आ जाए। तो वो एदोम का क्षेत्र था, और वहां पर एक सभ्यता पनपी थी जिसका नाम था नेबेटियंस। अब इन नेबेटियंस का जिक्र बाइबल में कहीं नहीं आया है, लेकिन यीशु मसीह भी पेट्रा आए थे। इसका एविडेंस क्या है? एविडेंस क्या है? यीशु मसीह ने पतरस के लिए कहा, यीशु ने कहा कि तू वो पत्थर है जिसके ऊपर मैं अपनी कलीसिया बनाऊंगा। तू पतरस कहलाएगा, पतरस, पीटर, ठीक है। ये पतरस जो शब्द है ये पेट्रा से ही बना है, ठीक है। तो यीशु मसीह के माइंड में क्या चल रहा था? यीशु मसीह ने कहा कि जैसे वो चट्टान के ऊपर बना हुआ एक नगर है पेट्रा, मैं वैसा ही तुझको बनाऊंगा नींव, कि जैसे चट्टान के अंदर खोदा गया है वो शहर, वैसे ही तेरे अंदर मैं कलीसिया का निर्माण कर दूंगा, तेरे द्वारा कलीसिया का निर्माण कर दूंगा। तो यीशु मसीह आए होंगे, तभी तो यीशु मसीह को पता है कि वहां पर कोई शहर है, और ऐसा शहर है उसको पेट्रा कहा जाता है, यानी यीशु भी उस जगह पर गया था। तो आप भी उस जगह पर जा रहे हैं। तो वहां पर एक सभ्यता पनपी थी जिसको नेबेटियंस कहा जाता था, और वो नेबेटियंस जो थे वो व्यापारी थे, ट्रेड करते थे, और उन्होंने पहाड़ों के अंदर छिप करके एक नगर बनाया था। और इतना सुंदर उन्होंने नगर बनाया था, जब आप गाइड के साथ तो पैदल भी चलेंगे तो वो बहुत सारी चीजें आपको दिखाएगा कि कैसे चट्टानों का शेप ऊंट की तरह बना दिया था उन्होंने। चट्टानें ही ऊंट की तरह बना दी थी, कि एक अरबी आदमी जो है ऊंट लेकर के आ रहा है, एलिफेंट आपको वहां पर दिखेगा। वहां पे अलग अलग प्रकार की चट्टानें जो आपको नंगी आंखों से आप उसके सामने खड़े होंगे तो भी समझ में नहीं आएगी, लेकिन जब गाइड दिखाएगा तो आपको दिखेगा कि हाँ वो तो हाथी खड़ा हुआ है। तो बहुत ही अच्छी जगह है। और ये नेबेटियंस जो थे वो चाहते थे कि कोई भी इस नगर के बारे में, शहर के बारे में ना जाने, और इसीलिए उन्होंने उसको छिपा करके रखा था। उसका रास्ता भी ऐसा है कि आपको रास्ते पे चलेंगे, बिल्कुल उसके सामने भी पहुंच जाएंगे तो भी वो नगर दिखाई नहीं देगा। तो इस तरह से उस जगह पे जाएंगे। नेबेटियंस जो थे बाद में जाकर के इनका अस्तित्व समाप्त हो गया था। वहां पर कब्रिस्तान भी है, जो उन्होंने मकबरे बनाए थे वो सब आप लोग देखने को वहां पे मिलेंगे। तो ताजमहल हमारे पास है। थोड़े दिनों के बाद हम इजिप्ट में जाकर के गीजा के पिरामिड्स देखेंगे। लेकिन तीसरी इंपॉर्टेंट साइट जो है 7 वंडर्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड में पेट्रा को भी इंक्लूड किया जाता है, तो आप उसको भी आज देखने जा रहे हैं। तो 7 में से 3 तो आप देख लेंगे, 4 बचे हुए हैं। वो कभी भी प्लान करके आप 4 जो हैं वो देख करके अपने आप आ सकते हैं। आपको एफिल टावर जाना पड़ेगा, आपको और दूसरी जगह पे जाकर के बाकी चीज़ों को देखना पड़ेगा। तो चलिए नज़ारों के मज़े लीजिए। ये पहाड़ियाँ जो आप देख रहे हैं, ये सब पहाड़ियों के बारे में आप ये गिलाद का पहाड़ी देश, मनश्शे के पहाड़ी देश के बारे में आप पढ़ते हैं, उन सबको आप इस समय यहाँ पर देख रहे हैं। रोटेट करेंगे, यानी जो आज आगे बैठे हैं वो कल बीच में बैठेंगे, कल पीछे वाले आगे आ जाएंगे, तो सबको आगे बैठने का मौका मिले, सबको पीछे बैठने का भी मौका मिले, और सबको बीच में बैठने का भी मौका मिले। ठीक है। मैं और मेरी वाइफ यहाँ से शिफ्ट नहीं हो सकेंगे, और इसके लिए क्यों नहीं हो सकेंगे? क्योंकि यहीं पर ही माइक लगा हुआ है। गाइड जो है आपके बीच में बैठेगा तो आप खुद अनकंफर्टेबल हो जाएंगे, तो इसलिए गाइड को आगे ही बैठने दें मेरे साथ। और आप लोग सेकंड रो जो है यहाँ से रोटेट कर लीजिएगा रोज, ताकि पीछे वाले आगे, आगे वाले बीच में, और बीच वाले पीछे चले जाएं। ऐसे करके हम रोटेट करते रहेंगे, यहाँ पर भी और इजराइल में भी और इजिप्ट में भी। ठीक है, ताकि कोई नाराज ना हो। काफी सारे लोग नाराज हो जाते हैं, तो आप लोग किसी को नाराज ना करें। मैं भी कोशिश करूंगा कि मैं भी किसी को नाराज ना करूं, लेकिन मैंने पहले से ही आपको बोल रखा है कि मेरी आदत है डांटने की, तो अगर आप कुछ भी गलत नहीं करेंगे मैं तो भी डांटूंगा, ठीक है। तो अगर मैं डांटूं तो मेरे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उनको तो पता है कि उनको तो डांट खानी ही खानी है, भले से कुछ करें या ना करें। तो बाकी आप लोगों के लिए मैं एक नया खिलाड़ी हूं, तो मैं कैसे खेलता हूं वो सब कुछ आपको इन 10-11 दिनों में समझ में आ जाएगा। तो थैंक यू वेरी मच। आप जब गाइड को लगेगा, हाँ कल सुबह होटल छोड़ देंगे सब सामान लेकर। आपको सामान छोड़ के चलना है, आप चल सकते हैं। नहीं, फिर नहीं आना है। सिस्टर सुहासनी आ गई, ओके। आज देखते हैं आपका लगेज आ जाए तो प्रभु कृपा करे आपके ऊपर, है ना। मैं बात कर लूंगा अभी थोड़ी देर में।
Jordan, it's like it will be a little bit information so that you can identify when you go back to your home, so that you can talk to your friend about Jordan in like a paragraph. So we are in Jordan. We are part of the Arab nation. So we speak officially Arabic language as an official language for the whole Jordan. And Jordan, we are 11 million people are living, half of us in Amman, and we have 3 more million in the north. In total, most of the people are living in the north. Why in the north? Which is at your backside. Why? Because we have a good or moderate weather in the north. Now we are going to cross and to drive throughout all the way toward the south. You almost will cross all Jordan, because we are a small country, and in 4 hours driving you almost at the cross borders of Jordan. You will be driving and you'll be crossing all Jordan. This is why you will see now like desert. Now the soil, it's a little bit like yellow, and it will start to change into more yellow, more desert. While you are passing through the south, you will see more desert land, and you will start to see, you came from Amman, the capital. A lot of people are living in there. Now we are outside Amman, going towards south. If you look at your right or left hand, you start to see villages, small villages, because we mentioned all the population, all the Jordanians living in the middle or in the north, but not in the south. Why? Normally nobody want to live in the desert, so it's almost desert now. This is the starting or the transit from the good soil, from the agricultural land to the desert. This is the Arabian desert, the end of the Arabian desert. And you have been before, or you hear about the Gulf countries, the rich countries. We are not rich, they have oil, we don't have oil. So this is the edge of the Arabian desert that contains Saudi Arabia, Emirates, United Arab Emirates, Qatar. So this is the end of the desert. And now we started to enter the desert itself. This is the road that we are driving in. We called it the desert road. Normally you are going to the desert, most of it, more than 80% desert, so this is why it's called the desert road. It's the only road, the only main road that is I'm sorry, we have 3 main roads. This is the major, main, vital, important road that connects south to north. And sometimes you started to see some trucks, lorries, trucks coming in both ways. Why? Because it connects the only sea that we have it, which is the Red Sea. We have only Aqaba port at the Red Sea, and we have another sea. It's dead. We call it the Dead Sea. You know it, and maybe you're looking for the Dead Sea product. So the Dead Sea It's dead. No, nobody is living in there. Even fishes, no, nothing. It's super salty. We take it from it like the original Dead Sea product. It contains more than 26 elements of that you are searching. Sometimes I have a lot of questions for the beautiful ladies. Did you have the Levant product? Yes, we have it in Jordan. We bring it from the Dead Sea, product. So it's dead, nothing in there, but we make from it like some products. The only seaport we have it is the Aqaba port, the red, yellow red. It's the Red Sea. So this way is one of the three major ways that connects both south toward east. This is regarding the road, this is regarding Jordan in general. In general, Jordan, why it's important? If you link sometimes the historical with the biblical, with the religious stories, they can make something sense into your mind, which is normal people want to go wherever there is moderate weather, not hot, as at the same time a good drinking water. This is why this area, it's a holy area for sure, but it's the cradle of all civilization. All the civilization came and settled at the beginning in this area. Do you know what's the oldest city in the world? Who knows it? What is it? What's the oldest city in the world? City, not people, not guy, not person. Who have it? You will cross it the first day you are going to Israel. It's Jericho. Jericho, the oldest city in the world. So this is nearby here, at your right hand. So, as well at your left hand, we have Iraqi country. So Jordan, we have at the east side. East, where is the sun? Look at the sun, almost there. So this is the east side. We have Iraq. We have Israel side from the west. We have Syria at the north. We have Saudi Arabia at the south. So normally, people, when they want to settle, they came to Iraq first. Why? Because it contains two rivers, Dijla and Furat, what we called always in the ancient, the country of the two rivers. So there the people started to live in Iraq. And this is why we have Abraham, we have Lut, they were in Iraq, right? And then God ordered them to cross over Jordan. They passed here, they crossed toward the Dead Sea, which is the Jordan Valley. Lut, he was ordered by God you have to go to Sodom and Gomorrah, which is in the Jordan Valley. Abraham, you should enter into the west bank of the Jordan River. At that time there is no Israelites, he is before the Israelites. So you should cross the Jordan Valley toward the west side. Now we will link. Normally God sent them to the people. They were prophets, so go there, invite them to the God. Go there, invite them to the God. This is the story of the biblical or the religious stories came from where is the people. The people were living in Iraq. So Abraham sent to Iraq. His nephew Lut was with him. They cross by order of God. Later what we have? We have all the civilization came. They are normal human beings like us. They think, where should we go? We should control of Jordan. Why? It's in the middle of the road. If you control Jordan, you're controlling the whole area. Why? Because there is an Indians, they are having a nice spices, right? In the ancient time, you were producing spices. So me as a merchant, if I'm thinking of to be international businessman, I want to bring some spices from India, and I send it to the Greece or Greek, where there's a civilization came, the Greek. We called it the Great Alexander, right? This was in the 4th century. So if I want to bring spices from India to the, I should pass by Jordan. This is why all the civilization comes to Jordan. This is why we have a lot of historical sites from the Greek. Before the Greek, they were before the Christ with 400 years, or almost 333 exactly. Where we have a guy called the Great Alexander. He he united all the Greeks, and he defeated the Persian, right, in a battle called Jajamela, nearby Iraq here. And he started to control all over the region. Before going back to Abraham's time, Lut's time, then later, Abraham times and Lut times, they were at 1800 before the Christ. Almost 600 before Moses. Lut, he have like his people, Sodom and Gomorrah, and they were get punished, and God make them upside down, right? Because they have like a bad action, you know it. This is Sodom and Gomorrah, it's in the Dead Sea, at your right hand. It's the sometimes look at the whole image, if you like, as you are making like a piece. We have some religion, we have historical, we have geographics. The geography affected the history. The religion, we call it religion, but they are normal people with the history. All these three elements representing the whole story. Geographic, what we have? Jordan at the middle, and we are at the top of the mountain. Before the prophets, before Abraham, before everyone, before Adam, before Eve, we have all the land, they were one piece, right? They were one piece. And they started to be separated, right? And we have here Asian part, India from the Asia, and we have African parts, Egypt from Africa. And your tour will be, now we are in Asia, you will cross toward Africa. These two continents started to be separated, Asian with African. When they separated, they formed the Jordan Valley. We have Asian going toward east, African going toward west, a little bit toward north. This is what we form, and we have a pressure in the continents. We have the mountains, and we have Jordan Valley. We have mountains, west side, east side. And this is, you can see, now you are here at the top of the East Mountain. And tomorrow, all of us will be going to the Jordan Valley. So, you are at the top. And you are the only dry land path from Asia to Africa. You have to pass by Jordan. If you want, in the past, they don't have like flight tickets. They don't ship by Amazon or Express. You have only what you have is a camel caravan. Exactly. You have to pass by Jordan. This area represented as a vast hub, trade, important area for everyone. Because of the geography, because of these two continents. Tomorrow you will see it by your eyes. We are at the top and we are going down. The difference here, now we are at almost 1,000. Tomorrow we will go minus 400 to the Dead Sea. The difference almost 1,400 or 1,500. This has affected the history, and the prophets go to the people normally. They are normal people. Where's the people? They go Abraham, Lut. Then later we have the Persian. Then we have Moses' time, and you know the story of Moses. Abraham, let's go back to Abraham. Abraham, he has like one son called Isaac, right? Isaac. Then from Isaac you have another son, Isaac's son. His name is Jacob. And Jacob, his another name is Israel. Right. And Jacob, Israel, he has 11 sons, right? One of them called Joseph. Right? Joseph, he has the story, and you know all his story. His father, Israel, or Jacob, he loves him more than his brothers. This is why they took him away. They told his father, we want to play with him outside, please let him play with us. He told, please be, and they were living in the West Bank, in the Israel nowadays. We want to play with him. He told, okay, please take care of him. He's like an old baby, old kid. Then they throw him in the well. Then we have like a camel caravan, businessman coming from West Bank of the Jordan River and they want to drink some water. One of them, he was taking water out of the well. When he looks, there was a little frightened kid. This was Joseph. They took him away, and those guys on their way to Egypt. There, they sold him to the wives of the, not Pharaoh, but the king of Egypt. Why? And I will link it why the pharaohs make the Israelites slaves. We have the pharaohs from dated back. They were ruling Egypt from 5,000 years ago, before Abraham with 2,000 years. Then we have pharaohs. In certain time, there is a nation came from some of them they call them Hyksos. They came from some theories from Greece, some theories from like North Europe. We call them Hyksos. Those Hyksos, they entered Egypt. The Hyksos, and they make a revolution on the pharaohs, and they took the control of Egypt from the pharaohs. Unlucky, when Joseph entered, you know the whole story, when he went into the king of one from the Hyksos. When he was there, he started, and there's like a pandemic, and there's no harvest for 7 years. Joseph himself started to control Egypt. He's from Israelites, and he bring with him all his 11 brothers from Israel nowadays to Egypt. Those 11 brothers started to make generation. In certain time, what we have, the pharaohs themselves, they want their rules back. They make a revolution on the Hyksos, which is Joseph and the Israelites. They took back the rule. And now, yesterday, you were ruling us, you helped the Hyksos, today we are the one who is ruling, all of you are slaves. And the Israelites, they became as slaves from 1600 before the Christ, going down till 1200, which is the Moses time. Moses time and 1200 before the Christ, almost 1200 years. And you know the story of Moses, when the Pharaoh, so the pharaohs, they are normally ruling, and one day he had a dream. There's a baby from the Israelites, he will take the throne from my side. As a reaction, he wake up in the morning, let's kill all the infant boys, Israeli boys. He started to kill them all. Then the consultant, they told him, Pharaoh, come on, what you are doing? If you kill them all, there's no slaves for us. So please, like, leave a little bit of them. Then he modified his decision. Okay, let's kill every other year. 1 year we will leave them, next year we will kill them. This was his decision. And we have Aaron, right? Aaron, he is Moses' brother. And we will arrive there in 1.5 hours. Then we will start the tour. Before that, we will show you the Moses water spring. This is the place and the stone where Moses, he hit with his stick the stone. So we have it in Jordan, you will see it, and you will see the water that is running from 3,200 years ago till nowadays, from Moses time till nowadays. The place we are going to, we call it in Arabic Moses Valley, Wadi Musa. Moses Valley. In the same spot there we have Petra. So let's talk a little bit about the tour. Some essential tips that you may need, or you will need, so that we have a successful tour. So now in 1.5 hours we will arrive there. Please, like, we are a group of 51 people. So let's like be sharp timing wise, so that we have a successful tour, a group tour. Once we arrive there, I will determine and I will assign you very easily where is our assembling point or our meeting point at the end of the tour. Why? Because we need everybody to come back at a certain time, so that we will go all in one shot, in one time, to the lunch. So please do not be the one who is delaying a 51 group. After the visit, all of you will be starving. I'm sure of this because you will making some efforts and the lunch will be ready. So please, like at a certain time, let's arrive there first. We will assign at what exact time we will be in the meeting point. Petra, the site in general, it's only one way in, one way out. There is no chance to get lost. So we will do it as a group. I will do it on my feet and I will make a brief for certain stops. We will start at the visitor center. I will make it on my feet. I will do it walking. We will need like 1.5 hours of walking. The site itself consists of 3 major parts. The first part is the open area. Open area, I'm talking about the visit itself inside visitor center, so that you can you can know what's the thing you will face. The first level, the first phase of the tour will be open area phase. It's around 700 meters. Then we will be inside the mountains, hidden inside the mountains. We will walk like 1200 meters, 1200 meters, until we arrive the treasury. The treasury, this is the image that all of you saw on the internet. And this is where all the customers want to take photo in the front of. There, we will give you like a free time, then we will continue a little bit. Usually I ended there, but Sachin last time, he is keen to have like a happy customers. So he walked, when I saw him walked, so I walked with him. It will be not like the end of the tour, we will walk a little bit further. Petra, it's not one site visit, it's a city. We will explore as much as we can by like the possible time we have. So the treasury, we will have a free time there, then we will continue a tour a little bit until we arrive the theater. There, then you will like have a free time a little bit, then you will come back. So please, at a certain time, I will determine it to you to start evacuate the place, because you need like on average 1 hour walking back. So I will assign all the times. Once we arrive there, everything will be so clear to you. But please, like, let's be responsible, because others, there are some people will be coming on the time. Let's like not be the ones who is delaying the whole group. The whole group will be starving. Our lunch will be ready. We are waiting everyone so that we go in one group, in one shot to the restaurant. My English is clear to you? Yes, okay, perfect. Okay. So, this is what we are going to do inside the visit itself. Now, I will give you the tools that you can use inside the visit itself. If you want to use it, it's up to you. But before that, I want like to introduce a little bit about the Petra, the history of those people. Why you are going there? If you ask yourself this deep question, why I'm going to Petra? Yes, it's part of the holy tour that that's going on with you. Yes, that's right. But Petra itself, it has a different history. So if you ask yourself why I am going there, why we wake up at 7, is it worth it? So for sure it's worth it. But if you ask your question why it's important, why Petra is one of the new 7 wonders. So I will give you a little bit, I will not take that long, about the history of the people who made this historical site that you are visiting, and you came from India, maybe 4 hours flight to arrive this place, part of your tour. So, going back to the Old Testament again, to Moses' time, I will describe you and I will re-mention it again as Will Sachin was mentioning it. That is, in the old time, in Jordan, we had the 3 kingdoms. In the Iron Age, what we call the Iron Age. The Iron Age, it's 3,000 years ago. We have 3 kingdoms. We have the Ammon, Ammonites. We have Moab, Moabites. We have Edom. And they are mentioned in the Old Testament as well, right? The Edomite, those Edom people, they have been asked by Moses one time to cross over their kingdom. They want to go to the promised land. Here is some trucks, they are going to the main port that we mentioned before. Moses and his people, when they want to go to the promised land, they ask the Edomites. The Edomites, they are living at your right hand. Imagine the Edomites, those have the same houses that you are seeing. But it's not concrete. It's like a tent. Bedouin guys, 3,000 years ago. You can see not cars, but some camels, some horses, some donkeys living in here. And they were a small kingdom. At Moses' time, Moses came and asked them politely, please, I want to cross your kingdom. I have a people, we want to go to another land. They stop him. No, you have more than 500,000 people. If you settled with us, we are in a problem. We don't have that services, that water that can be enough for all of us. After this, what happened, and you know the story, we will also mention it in details tomorrow because we are going to Nebo. After what has happened, here is Moses' time. Then time is running. After 500 years, we have some Arab nations living in Yemen. You know Yemen? It's close to India, right? We have some Arab nation. They were living there and they have the most ancient water dams. These water dams were collapsed, destructed. What's the reason? We don't exactly know, but we have in Jordan, due to these 2 continents, again geography, there is an earthquake on a weekly basis, but it's light. Some people, especially who living in the city, they feel it. Here we don't feel it, but on every 100 years we have a destructive earthquake comes to Jordan. This is about the statistics. We have 249. We have 749 happened. Last one happened 1927. So the next one will be happening after you finish the tour. So these people, they've been asked again, going back to the Arab nation. These dams were collapsed down due to the earthquake, due to some other reason, we don't know exactly, but what we know, these water dams collapsed down. And you know, when the water dams collapse down, it will drown all the agricultural area. It's no more good for the people to live in. Those Arab nations, they spread out. Some of them went to Saudi Arabia nowadays. Some of them went to east side of what we call nowadays the Arab countries. And one tribe, they called the Nabatean people, Arab people. Why they are Arab? Their gods are Arab, their names are Arab, and their writings in Arabic sentences. They came to the Edoms again after Moses with 500 years. And the Edomite, they know later that this was a prophet and we are a good people, but we have a mistake with them. We did not allow them to cross. The Nabatean people, they came to the Edomite kingdom and they asked them again, please, we are a few thousand, we are not like Moses, 500,000, and you only a few thousand. We want to sit with you, we want to settle here, we want to contribute your economy. We are good farmers, we can deal with water. We have water dams in Yemen. Please, can you allow us? What they told them this time, Not no, like Moses. They say, I reply, yes, you can, but do not sit with us inside the desert. It's our land. Go at the edges and settle there. So those people, they found what we call nowadays Petra, that place. Why? Because they want to collect some water, and I will show you how they collect it. At the same time, they are normal people like us. If you want to settle, why you are building a house? You want to be protected from the wind, from the cold, as well to get defended from the enemies if you have some like wild dogs or some other predators, and you have water. So they look, they found some mountains where can they collect some waters as well. It can be a very strong defensive line for them. They settled there and they started to contribute the Adum's economy. They started to be like agriculture people. Then this has happened in the 7th century. When we saw 7th century, 600 something, right? 7th century before the Christ. And time again is running. We have Moses' time, we have Nabatian, they come and ask. Time is running. After this, with like 120 years, what we have? We have international empires. They are arising, going down, arising, going down. We have, before the Persian, before the Greek, we have what we call some people from Iraq. This is directly after Abraham, after Lut. The civilization were in Iraq, and the international empires, the most strong empires from Iraq. We have what we call, some people call them the Babylon. Before them we have the Assyrians. And if you can, we have Moses' time. They cross with Joshua to the Israel nowadays, and the time is running. In Israel there were 2 kingdoms, right? Israel in the north, Judah in the south, right? And we have 3 kingdoms in Jordan here. We have some international nation came from your east side, which is from Iraq. They call them the Babylon. They came here. They are more stronger than these 3 kingdoms, as well the 2 kingdoms in Israel. So we are stronger. Normal human beings feel they want to dominate everything. They came from Iraq. They destroyed all these 3 kingdoms. They destroyed them all. Does they finish? No. Let's continue the tour. They crossed the river and they destroyed 2 Israeli kingdoms. Israel in the north, Judah in the south. And they took from Judah especially more than 50,000 prisoners from the Israeli to Iraq again. This is what we call the Great Exile. They took all the engineers, all the medicine doctors, all the people. They let them slaves to Iraq. This is exactly happened in 586 before the Christ. We have the Rabatim people here. They wake up in the morning. They were hiding in the mountain, and you will see now that it's totally uncovered. No kingdoms are ruling. We have some political vacuum. Nobody is ruling. Let's control over this region. They get survived from the Babylon. They did not discover them. There is no Edomite, no Moabite, no Ammonite, no Israeli kingdoms. So they started to control all over the area. They started to make some services at the beginning to all the camel caravans. Again, you have geographic, all the camel caravans coming from India, from China, Silk Road. You know the Silk Road? Jordan is part of it. Silk Road. We have frankincense, we have incense from Yemen. Everything is important. So they started to control the whole area, and they started to be a good businessman, a good traders. They started to build a wealthy, like money, more and more until they have a very huge kingdom, and they were a wealthy people. This is, so they have a strong, sort of independent but national size kingdom. So later on we have the Greeks. They came, they tried to invade them, they failed. Why? Because the Nabatean people, it's impossible to invade them military. Why? In 2 hours you will see. It's impossible. Then later on, after the Greek they failed, they started to be good friends. they have a good deals with each other, they become more rich and more rich. After the Greek, we have the Roman, they came, and they think about this problem. We have the Nabatean people, we cannot invade them military, it's impossible to invade them. Let's fight them economically, on the money-wise. The story of his mother throwing him away, like Moses. Why? He normally given birth in the year. This is the forgiveness from the Pharaoh. So he normally lived. Aaron, he's older than Moses with 1 year. So in his year, it's like forgiveness from the Pharaoh. Leave them. Next year, the killing year, Moses' time. So you know the story when his mom Mary, she make like a wooden box and she throw him away towards the Nile River. Then the story continue. And we have like later on, all these stories happened and we have the great Exodus and the Pharaoh's dream becomes true, right? This guy, he raised him by himself and at the end, there's a revolution. It's not a revolution actually, but it's a nation movement. Moses told to Pharaoh, just leave us, we want to leave. We have the promised land, we want to go there. But Pharaoh did not leave them until he got drawn in the Red Sea. You know the Red Sea, we have two streams, right? Left and side. This happened at the left side. At the right side we have Aqaba. At the left side he hit with his stick the sea and he started to pass. He wanted to go to the promised land, but there he was stuck by the Arab Canaanites. They were ruling the West Bank. They never let him to pass. This is why he came to this desert, to this area. As I'm looking at their side, at those mountains, they came here. They want to pass again because they are stuck here. They asked the Edomites. In Jordan we have 3 kingdoms, small kingdoms: Ammon, Moab, Edom. They asked the Edomites, they never allowed them. He want peace, he have a nation, he have more than 500,000 people. They want to cross to the promised land. The Edomites, they stopped them. So Moses left them, then he came here to Moab, the another kingdom. He asked them, I want to pass, I don't want to settle with you, but they're getting afraid from him. Why? Because they are a nation. If they settled with the Moab, there will be like it will be like a crowd on all facilities, on all the infrastructure. There at the Moab, which is the next kingdom, he decided to fight. And as you know, he defeated them and they crossed. This was at the end of 40 years. It's long time. It's not a 50 people group that can end it with 10 days with a bus. They are a nation. They have a camel caravans, but he have to feed them. He have to supply them with water. So it's a nation movement. You cannot do it with 1 month. And at the same time, it's not to getting lost. They don't know the direction, but they are getting stuck with the local nation, local kingdoms. They have a problem with the Edomites, and there Aaron was died out at the Edomites at Petra. They passed here. They have one fight. Sometimes you have to secure them to with food, with water. This is why it takes too long until the end of the lost time, which is 40 years, was ended by the death of Moses at Mount Nebo. Tomorrow you will be there. You will see. You will be standing at the same spot he was there one day. Then we have another good servant, Joshua, right? He continue the tour. He continued the tour and he crossed to the oldest city in the world, which is Jericho. You will be in the same path. This is regarding the history. So these lands, almost like you have it geographic. You are at the middle of the Middle East, at the middle of all trades. So all the historical places, most of the stories here, as well later on with the biblical Old Testament, as well in New Testament. Regarding the New, why is Jordan important for all Christians? Yes, the simple answer, yes, because you have a baptism site. I know, but this is Why it's here? Because at Jesus' time, Jesus Christ came at the 1 AD, right? It's his time. But normally, go to back to history again. We have multiple civilization. We have the Greek, right? Then they passed away, or the civilization, they vanished, right? This is the most suitable word, vanished out. Then we have the Roman. The Roman came and they took over the cities again. In Jordan, they have major 6 cities. Why they build it? Because they have a problem with the Nabatean people. Now the people who are going to. So they make cities, Amman, Jarash, Irbid, Qais, but they had different names in the ancient time. They want to fight economically against the Nabatean. Later on I will give you a little bit history about the Nabatean. So the Roman, they were ready in Jordan. As well, they were ready in Jerusalem, as well in Israel nowadays. So it's like a modern country, they have to take control of it. So we have one guy, normally look at it this way. One guy going out from the Israeli side, he's inviting everyone to be equal. He having a new religion. So we don't like as a Roman leaders. So the Roman don't like Jesus and what he bringing with. This is why they arranged to cross him out. Later, after Jesus, we have a lot of his followers normally. If we stay in the Israel, then we will have the same destiny, the same crossing. They started to run away. Jesus himself, sometimes he ran away from the Roman. So, thinking as him normally, you are living in the West Bank, and you have some people taking control of the West Bank, and you have to invite some people, but if they found you, they will like behead you or they will cross you. So he ran away. When he ran away, he go geographics again. We have mountains. So at the top of the mountains we have cities. At the top of the mountains we have cities. So here is at the slope of the mountains we have some caves. Let's go there. So he was hiding from the Roman in those caves. As well, we have John. As well, he was away from the Roman. This is where they met, in the Jordan Valley. And the place, the baptism site, where Jesus meets John there, and he gets baptized by him. As well, before the baptism itself, Jesus and his mom, Mary, they went to multiple caves in the Jordan side. They were hidden in some caves. One of them in Ajnoon, north of Jordan. We called it Saint Mary, Virgin Mary, Church. So we have a lot of places as well important in the New Testament, which is the Jesus time. Normally, why? Because they were in these spots, heading from the Roman. Not in the major cities, but outside the major cities, which is in the Jordan Valley and the caves there. Later on, as well, the early Christian. The early Christian, they will sacrifice themselves. There's no joke in this. If you are refused to make some sacrifice for Zeus, you directly will be killed. So this is was for the early Christian to run away as well from the Roman again, and to come to the Jordan side, sometimes in the caves, to be hidden from the Roman, until this tragic story at the beginning, at the sacrifice that they make, was ended with the good story that is the Roman Empire itself turned into Christianity. But this took from them 324 years. So a lot of years of suffering until the Roman turned into Christianity, and we called it Roman Byzantine from that time, when they turned into Christianity. So this is like an introduction about Jordan, the historical side, the geographical side. Nowadays, like the distribution, the desert road, and the historical as well religious stories about Jordan. Regarding the tour itself, now we are driving toward Petra. From the beginning, it will take like 3.5 hour driving with one I'm sorry, with half an hour stop. Now we are almost, we need like half an hour. We will have the first stop. I know you want to use some toilet, so we will have a stop there. Then we will continue towards Petra. It will take another 1.5 hour driving. There we will start the tour itself. Tour, we will go in one shot all together to make the tour. Later on I will give some tours if you want to use it to facilitate like you're walking. Then we will need like 3 hours. Don't look at the time, just enjoy the moment itself. We will enjoy the whole tour until we arrive majorly the treasury, and we will see how we will run it there. Then we will come back again to the visitor center. At the sampling point I will assign it, and then we will go to the lunch time. You will have your lunch, then we will be driving back to Amman. This is regarding what's on our schedule today, and this is regarding a brief about Jordan in general.
लेता हूँ। यहाँ पर आपको डेजर्ट दिखाई दे रहा है दोनों तरफ सड़क के। ये अजीब प्रकार का डेजर्ट है, लेकिन जब हम कुवैत में थे तो वहाँ पर पूरा डेजर्ट था। सऊदी अरेबिया में पूरा डेजर्ट है, और पूरे मिडिल ईस्ट में जो डेजर्ट है उस डेजर्ट का स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट जो है वो जॉर्डन है। ठीक है, तो यहाँ से ये डेजर्ट जो अभी आपको हल्का डेजर्ट दिख रहा है, ये बढ़ते 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 दूसरे कंट्रीज में जाकर के पूरे डेजर्ट के अंदर तब्दील हो जाता है। फिर एक बात जो इन्होंने आपको कई सारी बातें बताई कि यहाँ पर वो गुफा भी पाई जाती है जॉर्डन के अंदर, जिसमें यीशु मसीह और माँ मरियम जो थे वो छुपे थे बचने के लिए, और वहाँ पर एक चर्च बना हुआ है जिसको वर्जिन मैरी चर्च के नाम से जाना जाता है। यहाँ पे नेबेटियंस के बारे में इन्होंने बताया, जो बात मैं आपको पहले ही बता चुका हूँ, और किस प्रकार से रोमन्स जो थे वो नेबेटियंस के ऊपर कंट्रोल करना चाहते थे और उन्होंने क्या क्या प्रयास किए थे, वो सारी बातें आपको गाइड के द्वारा बताई गई। लेकिन ये सब तो इतिहास की बातें, हम यहाँ पे बाइबल सीखने आए हैं। आप जब जॉर्डन देश का नक्शा देखेंगे, आज का हमारा जॉर्डन देश जो है, इसका नक्शा जब आप देखेंगे तो वो नक्शा जो है आपको एक बूट जो होता है, आदमी का बूट जो होता है, उसके शेप में आपको दिखाई देगा। ठीक है, तो अगर कहीं पर भी आपको जॉर्डन का नक्शा लगा हुआ दिख जाए तो आप देखिएगा, वरना गूगल सर्च भी अगर आप करेंगे तो उसमें नक्शा मिल जाएगा आपको जॉर्डन का। चट्टान पाई जाती है जिसपे मूसा ने 2 बार लाठी मार दी थी, और उसमें से पानी आज भी निकल रहा है, तो इसलिए धोने का पात्र है मोआब। और एदोम पर मैं अपना जूता फेंकूंगा। बिल्कुल जो सऊदी अरेबिया का जो उत्तरी इलाका है, वहां पर एदोमी जाति के लोग रहा करते थे। ये तेमान और टूमा और ये अलग अलग नाम जो बाइबल में इस्तेमाल हुए हैं, ये एदोम देश के नगर हुआ करते थे, जो बिल्कुल सऊदी का उत्तरी भाग हुआ करता था। अब परमेश्वर कहता है मैं एदोम पर अपना जूता फेंकूंगा। तो परमेश्वर ने इस बात को क्यों कहा? क्योंकि ये जॉर्डन जो देश था, ये पहले पवित्र भूमि का ही भाग था, और इसकी भू आकृति जो है वो एक बूट के शेप में है, जूते के शेप में है। तो परमेश्वर उस बात को वहां पर बोल रहा था जिस समय सैटेलाइट्स नहीं थी, जिस समय जोग्राफर्स के पास ऐसी कोई तकनीक नहीं थी जिससे वो ऊपर से भू आकृति को देख सके। तो इसलिए भजन संहिता 60 अध्याय 8